Hi guys, welcome back to the Shame Cave. I've been working on this off and on here and there. My garage is an absolute mess because I work on it a little bit at a time and I don't leave any time for cleanup. But like I said in my last video, I moved the oil filter relocation from over here off the block to over here off the frame, and I'll be plumbing that to the oil pan down to the oil pan way down over there. I also got some of the terminator wiring run. Sort of worked out my battery situation, temporary battery position over here. I got my Volvo power steering pump mounted in over here. The plumbing is almost finished for that. You can see the pressure line comes out over here and goes over to the steering rack right there. The low pressure line comes out the bolt that's right there and goes down, and I'm gonna hook that up to come around the same direction and go through this cooler here. This cooler here is gonna be for my power steering cooler. I've also got an oil cooler, an eBay special oil cooler that I'll be hooking up in line with the filter here. Before I will take off the turbo. The turbo oil will come off of the cooler into the turbo. I've also started welding on the headers. These are factory Chevy truck headers. That one I made some marks to. I'm gonna do another pie cut here, because this exhaust, it turns out too far and ends up pointing towards this frame rail here. So I'm gonna get that straightened out. Now try not to laugh too hard at this one. I went to the pipe yard, and this is what they had for 3-inch pipe. It happens to be 1/4-inch wall, even though it looks like it's 1/2 inch. It's very, very heavy. But anyway, that's how the exhaust is gonna go. This is gonna go on sort of like that. It's gonna come down this area here like I was describing before. And then I got a black pipe. It's basically like a sewer pipe turn up that probably gonna turn up like that somehow. And then my exhaust, the exit's probably gonna go back that way if I don't change it again before I'm all finished. We're also run most of the fuel line. Here's my fuel pressure regulator. I covered the line coming in with this reflective insulation here. Also, I got the starter in with the starter wiring insulated also from the header heat. Stuff's gonna build up in here. Got my inline filter hooked up, and it comes over to this splitter here. One side goes back to this rail, the other side goes to the back side of that rail, and then it comes out here into, actually this rail here, it's not quite hooked up, but the front of that rail goes into this side of the regulator, and that rail goes into that side of the regulator, and then the overflow comes out the bottom. At the return comes out the bottom, does a little loop and goes back into the factory Lexus return fuel line, and that goes back to the tank. It's pretty much what I've done so far. Also, the tank is mounted. The fuel line is run all the way from the tank all the way up to here. The fuel line's all done. The tank is in, the fuel pump is in, the line is done, so I can get fuel to this if I start hooking it up. I've also got to start hooking up The Holly, which here's the, you know, the main wiring harness for the Holly, is coming in through the firewall there. Same with some of the factory battery lines coming in, and I did a quick test turnover with the starter just to make sure that was all hooked up right. And that's about it. You know, like I said in my last video, I work on this a little bit at a time, and I don't leave very much. I don't leave any time at all for cleanup, especially around this bench here, which has all this garbage on it. But I'm currently working on the oil cooler lines, the oil filter lines going from the oil pan, the bottom of the motor, up to here, and then from here it'll go through the cooler, and then the cooler will sit. I sort of got this drawn out over here, where I have the section for my, that's where the radiator is going to sit, and then the intercooler is going to sit in front of the radiator, and then in front of that is the oil cooler, which is, here's one of them. That's the power steering cooler. The other oil cooler is going to sit across from it in this area here, and then behind that I'm going to get some radiator fans, and then start ordering turbo parts. But that's what I've got done so far. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.